All right, good morning. I have some updates today. Yesterday, yesterday, you know what? There's one thing you should know. This market needs someone when they are always updated. Yesterday, the prices of oil dropped from 119. They dropped down to let me mark and show you. They dropped from 119 down to $81. This was the highest. The highest point, the prices had reached 119. It was almost $120. They dropped to $81. So many people are still wondering, what happened? What happened? Let me explain. One, you need to know how Trump thinks. Trump is not a politician, a career politician. Trump is a businessman. Trump cares more about the money, the economy. I knew somehow this war, Trump was going to try to get out of this war in a few days from now. Actually, over the weekend, I knew this new week, Trump will try to get out of this war. Why? Because a businessman really has no interest in wars. A businessman wants things to be going smoothly, things are cheaper for the economy. He doesn't want all this trouble of inflation. Remember, one of Trump's promises and one of the things he has been pushing for a cut rates in the US. The cut rates in the US, meaning things getting cheaper, everything getting cheaper, manufacturing back to the US. And when you look at the war in Iran, it is too expensive for Donald Trump. Number one, it is disrupting the oil supply. Industries in the US, domestically, people are depending on oil. So the prices of oil jumping from $56 to $120. Trump was not going to tolerate that. He was going to try to get out of the war quickly. And somehow he felt like Trump's mindset is not about the war. That's it. So why did the market drop? Many people are asking, why did the market drop? And actually, let me just say this. It's only technical traders. I call them blind traders. It's only technical traders who expect oil to go back to 120. I don't see a possibility in that. Let me explain. Yesterday, President Trump had a call with Putin. He had a call with Putin, and one of the things they discussed, how Putin can get involved and help the US to end the war with Iran. Of course, also as Ukraine. If you know very well, Russians, Chinese are the major partners in almost all things with Iran. So President Trump was not going to call Iran directly. No, because Iran has a new leader. The new leader is still angry. They killed his family, his father, and all that. Trump had to go through President Putin to send a message to Iran. He desperately wants to end the war. And you know what happened? The US is lifting sanctions on the Russian oil. I normally call the US like a snake with multiple heads. Actually, the US is a true superpower. US has like 10, it has multiple snake heads. You cut one, another one develops. So, when the war in Ukraine started, the US imposed sanctions on Russia, they freeze their assets and all that. Remember, one of the things that have been sustaining the the Russian economy, it has been the oil. The oil they are selling to India, China, and all these other countries. Now the US is saying we are lifting sanctions. You know what that means? It means US will start purchasing oil from Russia. When they start purchasing oil from Russia, Russia will get more US money, meaning this war has been benefiting President Putin. Meaning, what had caused the spike in the prices of oil globally, it was limited supply of oil because of the war going on in the Middle East. And you know what Trump says? Trump says we can open another channel, which is Russia, to supply the oil as we settle this. So it technically means the prices had to drop. Why? They have opened another reserves in another Russian channel, meaning the oil prices are getting down. That's why you saw a very sharp drop. And I don't see the oil prices going up again to that 120. Actually, for me, I see it going deeper down, going back to 50 and all that in the next few weeks. So as you trade, you don't trade blindly. Someone just say, let's target another top up. No, that top may not appear now. It's not going to appear because one of the things that are bothering President Trump is seeing these oil prices. He hates seeing them. That's why he had to take action before the data, the central bank releases the data and all this. Because he didn't want the central bank to base the data on, he doesn't want anything to affect his plan of cutting interest rates. He doesn't want, he would rather get out of a war you think he has lost. Of course, he will declare that he has won, but he would rather leave the war and focus on, because Trump is a domestic president. He focuses on what is in the country. He focuses on the US. Are US citizens getting things cheaper? Those are his voters. Are US citizens able to afford, their bills and all that cheaply? That's what made him a president again. So other things outside, he's always less concerned. So that's why you see the oil prices dropping down. And the other thing, of course, President Trump has already announced, the war in Iran is, he said, it's ending. That's what he said. So it means there are back talks already going on, meaning this war is not going to go far. It is just going to de-escalate and things are going to get back to normal. So what does this mean for Europe? Europe had put sanctions on Russian oil. US is now removing the sanctions. So it means Europe will still struggle to get this oil at an expensive price as the US has left the sanction boat. So that's why you are saying this is happening. And that's it. Thank you.